Hello there everyone, how's it going? It's Deathwing here, and today I figured I wanted to talk about something that has been going on my mind for quite literally years, and it's a topic or a subject, whatever you want to call it, that it can be subjective, sure. This really kind of depends on on what really is your taste and what you think about it, but there's really no denying that this topic has been over the years more and more talked about, and it's been on my mind for a lot of time. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video now, however, is because, and this is where it translates to Legion, is that this is kind of a concern that in Legion is just blown out of proportions, okay? If there ever was a point of no return, I mean, I think we already kind of hit there, but in Legion, yeah, it's blown out of proportion. Now, seriously, the core of the issue. First off, we need to understand that World of Warcraft is an MMORPG. It's an RPG. It's a role-playing game. So, you know, that essentially you have fantasies on it, okay? And something that in Legion they've actually, Blizzard. They know this, of course. They made the game. They made an RPG. It's an RPG at the end of the day. Maybe you don't want it to be, maybe you do want it to be, maybe you're playing because of it, but it is, no, nonetheless. And Blizzard acknowledges this. One of the strong points that Blizzard keeps, bringing up about Legion is this, the core and the fantasy of the class. They made major overhaul on the classes, and not all of them, of course, but majority had major overalls, some, smaller than others, but they still made it so it could be a better attachment to the overall fantasy of the class. Now, the problem is not really there. That's just a selling point, I guess, on this video, just to tell this is an RPG. And my issue, and what has really been bugging me off on World of Warcraft, and I try to phase it out. But it keeps coming back and back. They really do a good job on bringing that back. Is that honestly, this game it doesn't feel like an RPG anymore because, at least to me, of this you are the hero factor, you are the champion factor, whether you like it or not. You're a commander whether you like it or not. You're the hero, you're the fucking savior. You can have your character boosted right now. Pay $50, boosted, bam, you're level 100 or 90. I don't even know what level it is these days, but a pretty high level. Probably maximum level, honestly, and you'll still be regarded as the fucking savior of the world. The game acts as you saved Azeroth multiple times. The game acts as you stroke the Lich King, as you kill Deathwing, and you have no choice. That's the point, okay? I'm not saying this stuff is bad. Maybe there are people that genuinely want, to be all those things and genuinely did all those things. But there's also people that doesn't, and it's not a choice, okay? Now, to better put this in perspective, I'm currently maining and playing a rogue, okay? I'm playing a rogue, and, maybe you're not this type of player, but I don't roleplay per se, like on a roleplay server, but I always have the fantasy for my characters, each one individual. It's just me, and I think a lot of people do that. Even people that really don't play the game for that factor alone, or it's like the biggest point. But we all do it, I think. And the way I view my rogue is, my rogue is kind of that shady guy, okay? He has the skills. I mean, he could definitely help on those events, but the thing is, he doesn't want to. The point is, my rogue, the fantasy that I have on my rogue, is not a commander. He's not a hero of savior. No, he's kind of the guy. It's kind of the guy that's there in docks. You go there, you pay him a little bit, you get yourself a contract, and I'll get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a thief, a theft. I mean, maybe it's like an assassination, but he's that kind of guy. He's kind of a smuggler. He's kind of a thief. At the very maximum, he's only an adventurer. And that's my problem really, because I'm in the world and I cannot I cannot fantasize about my rogue. It feels bad. Honest to God, this is very, very true. When Warlords of Draenor came out, when it first came out, on the launch, I was there. We all know how that went, but that's besides the point. Warlords of Draenor just got out. I was playing. I was excited. I want to play the fuck out of this expansion. I'm here. Launch day. So throwing all the launch issues aside, I did with my rogue. So I went with my rogue. That was the first character I jumped off to Draenor. That was the first character, I decided I'm gonna get this guy to 100. Long story short, I didn't. I mean, I did now, but that was not my first character. I started playing the expansion, and it felt so off with my fantasy character, with the fantasy that I had and I have on my rogue, that I couldn't do it. I swear to God, I got I think to 95, 94 maybe. I know I got like to Talador, and I switched off. I switched to my warrior. The game literally made me switch main because all of a sudden, I'm a commander of a garrison, and I'm a hero this, hero that. You're the champion. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No. I'm the kind of guy that you probably should not trust. That's my rogue, and I didn't feel it. So I had to go with my warrior, and I mained the warrior because of that. And I'm going to throw this argument that a lot of people now are going to start, every time you mention previous expansions or previous times in World of Warcraft, there's a lot of, nostalgia and all that shit. I mean, judge what you want, take it or leave it, but I really honestly don't think this is nostalgic at all. It's just, it's different. Because, like, I remember in World of Warcraft and in the Burning Crusade, and here's another story, by the way, which I'm gonna get to it pretty soon in a minute. You really had this feeling where you could made up a fantasy, and you could act it up. Obviously without being in a roleplay server that you can do whatever you want, but like just in your head. I remember in Burning Crusade, and I could definitely say, look, this rogue right here is, he's the raider rogue. This guy, this rogue here, he's okay. He's part of that shit. But this guy right here, nah, this guy's a thief rogue. Okay, you had these distinctions. You could kind of make it because the game was so much more free. And a lot of things got into this. A lot of things are like, quote unquote, to blame on this. Obviously the most obvious and oblivious one is the game just keeps telling you that all the features, and that's where we get in Legion, by the way, a lot of the features are essentially rooted to the core that you are the savior of the world, you are the best of the fucking best. So many features are like that, and they don't need to be, and I'll get to that as well. I'm gonna be talking quite a bit on this subject because I'm not saying solutions, because it passed that point. Okay, there's no solutions, but alternatives, kind of alternatives, so people can think, I suppose. So here's the story that I was talking about earlier. So I'm actually going to tell the story of how I first got in touch in World of Warcraft, when was that, and basically how I first viewed this massive world. And I first got in touch with WoW, it was still back in vanilla. Now, I did not play in vanilla, and you guys will definitely understand why, but it was the first time I viewed it, I checked it. Now, I was 11 years old at the time, maybe 12, but I really do think it was 11. It was at that time, sure. And I completely, it blew my mind. It blew my mind away. This was, this was new at the time. It was absolutely astonishing. I obsessed over this game. I really did. I got utterly obsessed with World of Warcraft. So naturally, I wanted to get it. I wanted to play it. Now, this is, you're an 11-year-old kid, and you gotta understand this is back in 2005. 2006, those years. So, me being this little kid goes up to mommy, and go like, hey mom, can you buy me this game? I really, really want it. and you know, I'm telling her that to buy this game, you know, 2005, and I need to pay a subscription fee, so she has to pay every month I play that game, and it's over the internet, transactions over the internet. Now, you have to understand that back in 2005, you know, I understand that now every parent, every kid has their little PayPal and shit. Back then, I didn't even knew what the fuck was PayPal, okay? Neither did my mom. My mom did not fucking knew what PayPal was. And these transactions and purchases over the internet, they were very suspicious. There was a lot of negativity towards that. It changed a lot, as you can tell, by the way. But back then, 2005, man, at least in my house, online purchasing transactions, big fat fucking no. No way. That's thieving go there, you know, you can get your credit card stolen, all that shit. No way, no way. So, as you can tell, I got a little big fat fucking no. No. You cannot get this game. I am not paying you a subscription fee over the internet for you to play a game. So, you know, obviously I got sad and all that, you know, I got a little bit depressed. And, of course, I didn't got depressed, by the way. But, you know, it's a figure of speech. I got sad, obviously. And for a whole year, even more, I'm pretty sure it was more, but we'll say for a year, I was obsessed with the game without even playing it. I watched tons of YouTube movies, you know, the ones that existed back then. It wasn't like now, you know, kind of like parody movies. And I remember That's the World of Warcraft That You Play song, and you know, I ate that shit all day, man, for a whole year. I was in the forums all day, you know, an 11-year-old kid reading forums of World of Warcraft. Man, World of Warcraft was my fucking life back then. I obsessed over it. I dreamt of it. You know, I still remember. I don't even remember it exists now, but back in the day, I think it was a big deal, okay? At least it was to me. The screenshot of the day in the website, holy fuck. You know, back then, I was on that shit. I was on the screenshots of the day. Every day, I've seen them all, and I every day I went to check. My wallpapers, my computers was everything was World of Warcraft, man. This whole year, I was sad, I was crying in the corners, I wanted to play, but I couldn't, my mom wouldn't buy me, and, yeah. But I was obsessed with the game, really was dreaming, it blew my fucking mind. So, anyways, you know, one day, after, you know, being everything World of Warcraft, my mother, you know, she comes to me and she's like, okay, so I know that you really want this, you really want this game. Okay, let's sit down, you know, sit down right there, just explain it to me. What is the game? What does it do? Maybe I can understand better. I just want to know, because I never asked you, what is the game, okay? And I really do remember, like it was yesterday, me explaining what World of Warcraft was to me at the time. Now, obviously, you know, I was a little kid, so a lot of stuff I thought of it kind of wrong. But I explained to her that it was just like real life, but in a fantasy setting where you could be an orc. You had all these different races. You had this kind of war between the Lions and the Horde and stuff. But I explained it like it was real life, but you could be anything. There was professions. I explained to her the professions and the classes, and you could be an engineer. And I remember even, you know, saying, because I actually thought of it at the time. I actually believed this was a feature of the game at the time. I even told her, you actually age. Your character ages. It's just like real life, you know. And I remember her opinion on this. When she heard of this, she was like, wow, that really sounds like boring. It's really boring. Why do you want to play a game that's just like in real life? So, the point of the story is, you know, I was obsessing with this game. This game was pretty much my whole life back then. You know, I would probably do a blowjob to play World of Warcraft back then. And these were my views. This is what pulled me towards the game. You know, it wasn't the rating, it wasn't the PvP. Fuck it. What the fuck did I know about PvP or rating? Nothing, okay, nothing. I was 11 years old. The selling factor of the game was the fantasy and the role playing, and you know, I could be whatever I want. But kind of like in the Lord of the Rings, just like living in the Lord of the Rings. I knew you could be like this big fucking savior. And that was cool, and I'm not saying that I particularly back then didn't want to be there, but the selling point really was you could be whatever you want, and right now you can't. Right now this is not a role-playing game. You know, I can't be the rogue I chose to be. I can't be the rogue that I have in my head. I am the rogue that the game says I am, period. I have no choice. I am the savior of the fucking universe. You know, I can buy an expansion. All I fucking did was herbalism, picking herbs. That was all I did during the year. I do a quest and they were like, hi, I'm the hero of the world, savior of the world. You know, I remember when the title Savior of Azeroth meant something, back when you had to kill Deathwing in Heroic. Now, when I see Savior of Azeroth title, I'm like, yeah, sure you are. Me too, man. Everybody sees it that way. You know? I cannot be the rogue that I choose to be. Nor the warrior. No. I have no choice. I am what the game decides to me. And that, to me, really, really, really breaks immersion. And honestly just goes against what the role-playing should be, man. Really. You know, I explained the fantasy of my rogue. I also have a Shadow Priest that I really enjoy playing. And it also affects my Shadow Priest. Like, my Shadow Priest, even more than my rogue, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about the occurrences of the world. No, he's in his corner. He's the guy that you don't really want to talk about, but he has no choice. My Shadow Priest is a fucking commander. My Shadow Priest killed Archimonde on fucking Heroic if that was an option without even doing it. I can't be the Shadow Priest that I created a character to be. And sometimes I can like, you know, step that away and just go into my rogue, and sometimes I get really into it and I'm playing my rogue and yeah, I get this vision. Then I do a quest. And back there, like right there in the text, I'm a champion and I'm the savior of the world. Now here is where we're gonna talk about Legion, the upcoming expansion, because, you know, Legion on this topic, on this subject, it really is where things get completely blown out of proportion. If you felt that you didn't have a choice in your character fantasy back, you know, currently, in Legion, it's off the fucking wall, okay? And the main reason for that is this new, of course you all know what I'm going to say, the artifact system. Now, let me just say that I love the artifact system. I really do. I think it's a fucking brilliant idea. It's just executed in the way that it didn't need to be, okay? The weapons itself obviously brings you know, this whole topic to the table, but it really is the artifact quests more than anything that just really hurts me, man. All of them, you get to be the fucking leader of your class, but in a way that it's stupid, really. I mean, you have fucking Thrall bowing to you. You're the leader of the Earthen Ring. You are not a shaman, man. You are the fucking shaman. And did he have a cool blizzard that maybe I don't want to be the shaman? I have no choice. I am the shaman. I'm not a shaman, I am the shaman. I am the rogue. You are the warrior. You know, it's funny. Literally, like every single artifact quest is like this. It's stupid. I mean, god damn it. If you play warrior and you do the artifact quest for the warrior, like that guy Odin literally tells you you're the best fighter on Azeroth. This is not a role-playing game. It really isn't. Fuck, I mean, this is not a role-playing game. You have no choice. You're the rogue Blizzard wants you to be. You're the warrior Blizzard wants you to be. You are the motherfucking shaman, not the shaman you built to create. Maybe you had this fantasy of, your shaman is kind of in the tribes. It's kind of that shaman tribe thing. He has respect and all, kind of a healer, but is it the shaman? Probably fucking not. And the weapons itself, and this is where I'm going to talk about the system and the weapons itself. That is absolutely fucking brilliant and glorious, but it's done in this so anti-RPG stuff that it's blow my mind. The artifact weapons in themselves, I mean, you're a paladin, you get the Ashbringer. Fucking Tyrion gives you the Ashbringer. If I'm a rogue, I'm going to pick up, subtlety, the fangs of some hound of Sargeras and all that stuff. God damn it, my rogue does not want those daggers. My rogue does not want the fangs of Sargeras. Okay? He really fucking doesn't. He's not that type of rogue. He's just a smuggler rogue. He's just a shady guy. He's kind of an assassin. You go there, you pay the gold, you pay the contract, he gets the job done. That's fucking it. He has no job holding the fangs of the fucking hound of Sargeras and all his might and all his powerfulness and holiness and all that shit. But I'm going to be forced to. My rogue, whether I want it or not, if he was already the savior of the universe, now he's gonna be the fucking shit just like anyone else. And it's funny because Blizzard for so long has been bashing our heads. You hear it all the time about this philosophy that they kind of settle in Wrath of the Lich King, if I'm not mistaken, or Cataclysm. Bring the player, not the class, right? And they've been doing that. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's that great. I can spell. You know the word. But so in that department they got it right, I suppose. I mean, I was better off back. And they're gonna fix it. Whatever. That's beside the point. So bring the player, not the class. But it's funny how this concept here goes against everything that is. There are no more individual paladins. They're all the same fucking paladin. Can't you see that? I mean, I think you can. In Legion, more than ever before, you are not your paladin. Everybody is the same paladin. Everybody. Everybody has Ashbringer. Everybody is the chosen one. You cannot ever tell in a fantasy standpoint, oh yeah, this paladin right here, he's kind of like the righteous guy, he's the judgment guy and all that stuff. That paladin right there is kind of the healer, kind of the battle here. This guy right here, he treats kind of the sick and the wound. No. Everybody is the same rogue. Everybody is the same paladin. And I'm not talking about this being a problem of, oh, everybody's gonna have the same weapon of me bullshit. No, that's solved. They have a lot of skins. That's fine. I don't mind that. It really is on a fantasy standpoint. You only have one fantasy, period. Every paladin has the same fantasy. Every rogue has the same fantasy. This is not bringing the player, not the class. Literally, there's only 11 characters in the whole game, played by millions of people. That's it. That's 11 characters, and 12, I believe, because Demon Hunter. So there's 12 characters in World of Warcraft, but millions of people play the same in the same room. And that's so awful. That is so awful. I mean, the artifacts, the artifact system is so brilliant, but why does it have to be this bullshit? I mean, think about it. Think about this. Why, it's fantastic, this fantasy and this lore type of, every type of warrior. And when I say warrior, not saying the class, warrior can be paladin, a priest, whatever, this battle guy. Every type of warrior, it's true, that kind of has his own weapon. That's a fantastic fantasy and lore. Okay? Definitely is. I love it. And it's all scattered on Warcraft lore. I mean, you have the artifacts, for fuck's sake. Every major and every warrior on this universe wants to have their own weapon. The weapon that their own existence defines, okay? And that's brilliant. But why does it have to be the fucking sword of this brilliant mage from the ages, or fucking Lightbringer himself, or the fangs of this hound, powerful hound, you know, the general of Sargeras and all that stuff? Why? I mean, it's not, you're not defining the weapon. The weapon is defining you. That's the problem. Why the artifact system? Why couldn't it be like, oh, I found this dagger in a dungeon and I really like it. I'm gonna keep this dagger, I'm gonna improve this dagger, everybody's gonna know this fucking dagger. Or maybe you crafted even, why not? You know, you went to the Master Dwarf's craftsman skills and they crafted you this weapon that you asked, you played a lot, and now this weapon that you found, you know, anywhere, or you made it craft, now you want to define this, you love this weapon so much, the balance is just perfect, you love it, you're going to define this weapon. Why wasn't the system this? I cannot understand. Seriously. I mean, obviously I'm throwing 5 minutes thoughts, you know, and thought process things here, but you get the drill. I mean, why are they all this big deal? What if my paladin doesn't want to wield the Ashbringer? He wants a weapon of his own. The artifact system is so brilliant. The artifact traits are so cool. It's so fucking awesome. Why can't this be done with the simple, you know, as an example what I said, you know, you're in the dungeon, or you're here, you're dead, whatever, it doesn't matter, and you find this weapon, or you kill somebody. You kill somebody and they drop this weapon, you know, it's just a kind of a vulgar weapon really, but you kind of feel something about it. It feels like you. And right now in this expansion, the whole expansion, you're gonna define this weapon. But no. If you think you're going to define Ashbringer, you're fucking wrong. The Ashbringer defines you. Here comes Legion. You know, I'm excited about the expansion, really am. But when it comes to this topic, yeah, forget about being your own rogue. You're going to be the rogue that the game tells you to be. There's only 12 characters and millions of people play them over and over in the same room. That's what it is. And that's so anti-RPG that, at least an MMORPG where you have a created character, by the way. I mean, this isn't like Witcher or something where it's you play as Geralt. But you certainly feel right now that it's one of those RPGs where you're playing a character that the point is you don't do your own path. Oh no. You know, these artifacts questlines that are brilliant, some of them are kind of trashy, but most of them are brilliant artifact questlines and the skins. You know, why isn't the Ashbringer just a skin? The Ashbringer and all these artifacts that we know now should be just a skin for a weapon that you obtain somehow, and this questline should be the way to get this skin. You know what I'm saying? Sure, why do you need to obtain the Ashbringer? Why isn't it an option, like the Greenfire was for Warlock? Why aren't these class quests, in case you want to, an option? Hey, do you want to wield the Ashbringer? You know, after the expansion, after you have your artifact and you've done a lot of traits, and you should be able to get these skins. I'm favor for that. I'm all board. The artifacts that we see now, the artifact weapons, the artifact questlines that we see now, to this day, that we're going to get off the go, they should be a skin, a top high-hand skin. Okay, that made you wield the Ashbringer, and this was the questline, not the start. This should be an option. Alright guys, I really want to get off my chest. I'm sorry for the long video. I do realize it's a very long one. I'm not sure if anyone really got up to here, but if you did, honestly, let me know. I really want this. I really want this feedback. Just how many people feel the same way I do. Just how many people agree with this. I really want to know. So please, if you do agree, please leave a comment. I really want to know just how many players, obviously that this video can reach, actually agree with this. Anyways, if you did, and if you did agree and enjoy the video, you know, a subscribe would be absolutely wonderful. You can throw a like if you liked it. If you disagree or dislike it, there's a dislike button as well. And I'll see you next video, guys. Sorry for the long rant, and honestly, let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your friends' thoughts. I really want to know.